Good Monday morning, everyone. Happy early Thanksgiving. It is the week of Thanksgiving. So you guys listening to Author Talk with me, Amy Valerie Russell, and our author guest today is Annie Higbee. She ran to get some headphones. So let's dive into the weekend. I will go first because that's just generally how things flow. Josh took the girls on his first overnight camping trip with the girls all by himself.
So brave.
And so I have photos to share because Russell wanted me to share. So I have photos of their camping trip that they went on. And
beautiful.
To me, the cutest one is this one where they're sacked out. I mean, they are sacked out. So that
awesome.
one is my most favorite. So
I
they
gotta
went
tell you,
and did that.
When they're 70 years old, they're going to remember going camping with their daddy. It's a thing. It's going to be healthy.
They were so happy. They were so happy and excited. We had kind of built it up all week. So they were really excited about going and they were really looking forward to it. So they all had a lot of fun. Josh was ready to come home. He was pretty tired because he did it all by himself. And the girls were like, we can stay some more. But they didn't. So they had a lot of fun. They went to Ratcliffe. They had like a water site and they had a lot of fun. So he's got his camping daughters that he's always wanted people to go camping with him. So that was a really nice thing. I cleaned my house and tried to get caught up on laundry. Laundry's not my strong suit, but I tried. I enjoyed my clean house staying clean. And everybody knows for the 12 days of Patreoners, if you participate, I always give a thank you gift. The holidays is my favorite time of the year. So I worked on the goodies because I homemade all of them this year.
Oh my gosh, Amy.
So I worked on that this weekend and finish that. So I'm going to be shipping those out to everyone that is participating this year. Hopefully before Thanksgiving, so you get them before Christmas, but no promises. But I worked on that this weekend and went to a Christmas market. And I'm trying to just get ready for Thanksgiving.
That sounds great me time, Amy. Just like going at your own pace and doing things you want to do.
It was a lot of fun. I missed my kids. I think it was easier because Josh was sending me photos all the time and was like, hey, we're doing this and we're doing that. So I like kind of knew. I feel like if they were, hiking the Appalachian Trail and I had no cell service to talk to them, it would have been a little different. For sure. But Valerie, what did you do this weekend?
Well, this was a crazy week. Just Friday, I did this like holiday lights tour in downtown Houston, which was incredible. But then Saturday was the Fort Bend Library Book Festival, and they invited a bunch of authors, and we were all just hanging out, and we got to present to this audience. And also, our friend Raul Herrera was there, and I got to teach a creative writing class this was my second year to be there, so it was an amazing time. They really, really support authors, and we did a book raffle giveaway to everyone that came in this giant pavilion. And so we all got the chance to tell everyone about our books. And it was so cool to hear authors, present their stories. So it was really nice. Yeah.
Well, but we have the photo that you were talking about last week of the old-timey planes is how I'm going to word it. That's really poor. But that's how I'm going to word it. And this is you and your husband in the plane. Russell sent it to me and wanted me to share.
Yes, this is a vintage Continental plane. If I recall right, it was built in the 40s.
With real seats.
Yes, with real seats and ashtrays for all those people to smoke on the planes. But it had an incredible history. So it was at the Lone Star Flight Museum. If you ever get to go down there, it's out by Ellington Field, and they have docents that will tell you the whole story behind all of these planes. And it's two giant hangars. So we were really, really just amazed at seeing this plane and getting to go on board.
Nice. Yeah. Well, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, right? I'm going to do mine at the end. But what is one of the things that you're thankful for this Thanksgiving season?
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, family, of course. Family and my support, my biggest support, and my friends, of course. Everything that comes together is just like a miracle every day in my life. It's just great.
I love it. Russell, you have to answer that question first before you tell us about your weekend. What are you grateful for?
Tex-Mex.
Oh, me
because
too.
I live in Georgia and I'm spending the week in Houston, and I actually get to eat Tex-Mex while I'm here. We actually got it last night. I'm grateful for Tex-Mex.
Nice.
But
Okay.
what is your favorite Tex-Mex dish?
Yeah.
Cheese enchiladas.
Oh, that's
Me
a
too.
staple. That's a staple. Okay.
Me
Okay.
too.
So, Russell, tell me about your weekend.
Okay, well, first, I have like 3 things I got to talk about.
Okay.
Sorry, Annie. First thing is, so we went to Jackson, Mississippi for the weekend. We went Friday night. We were at a Jackson State University fundraiser to raise scholarships for kids, and it was spectacular. I looked great, but my wife forbid me to show a picture because she did not want a picture of her, because no matter how great she looked, and I thought she looked great, she didn't look good enough to her. So in the picture, she has to pre-approve all pictures these days before I share them, and she did not pre-approve it, so I don't get to show it. The next day, we had seats in the president's box, president of the university's box, for Jackson State University versus Alcorn State, and it was a crazy game.
Okay.
But the craziest part was driving to the stadium and show the picture here, where people would park their cars and go into the stadium in the middle of the street. I've never seen anything like
That's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure if it was State Street, because that's kind of odd, but then I was like, this is weird right here.
And it was even worse than this. This is just the one we got a picture. The middle is the middle of the street. They just parked over there. That's not parking.
Oh.
But even where in the middle of busy streets, you know, where you have the painted mediums, they're not raised mediums, but painted mediums, people park there. They just park and leave their car there. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was chaos.
How are you supposed to know where to go and what to do? I mean, you could be parking.
You don't. It was insane. And so when they park their cars in the middle of the street, you can't turn left.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Can you still turn? Because it didn't look like it. Oh,
so if you're driving down one way and you need to turn left in a parking lot on the other side, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So what you have
I've never seen anything like it. The second thing is a Japanese story. Annie, I just got back from Japan a couple of weeks ago, and there's a story I hadn't told our listeners yet, and I might as well say it now. We're top 10 independent book podcast in America. We're very grateful about it. Most people listen to our podcast during the week, not live on Monday, while they're going to work or working out or whatever. And we thank them very much for doing it. Amy, when I finish, will tell people how to find us, which she has made it very easy to find us on the podcast channels. But while so the first day when we hooked up with this tour group, there was this old man, know-it-all, as we walked through the Imperial Gardens, saying, this is that. And he's a grumpy old guy. But he had some personality, too. And since I had like questions about what these plants were, I hung close to him and I started asking. Then the second day, we're at another Imperial Gardens, and he said something else, and he made the comment, well, I should know it. I write for Southern Living. I was like, oh, what?
Nice.
And cool.
He was the grumbling gardener that's the #1 writer for Southern Living magazine.
Oh,
and let me tell you, he truly is a grumbling old man.
Oh.
He truly knows every freaking thing you can imagine about plants.
Maybe
because I tested him the rest of the trip.
Maybe it's
no, it's not. Because I can tell you, I started making fun of him, and his wife started making fun of him with me.
Nice.
And though he has a good sense of humor and he would laugh at the jokes, he's great. It's just like he is in Southern Living magazine. So I had to tell people that. And he's a great guy if you can put up his grumbling. So he is brilliant about plants. In fact, he's a little bit like that guy. I can't even think of the movie now, that knows everything about everything, but he just knows everything about anything that's growing. It's insane.
Oh,
and the third
kind of like
thing
the house
is,
guy, like in the hospital in that show House, where he just knew like everything.
Yes, but just about plants.
Okay.
And he was much more of a grumbler than even House in the House show.
Oh,
but he's an awesome guy. And I'm going to start reading his stuff online. Though in fact, my wife subscribes to that magazine.
Yes.
So I guess I could just read it real.
It's a great magazine.
It has pretty pictures.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great recipes, everything.
Yes.
I've heard of it.
And the third thing
I don't have it.
I want to say is I hate this whole Central Time Zone.
What?
Being back in the Central Time Zone, so things start at 10 o'clock. I couldn't get my act together this morning. I'm having the same trouble Annie's having with her headphones.
You are from Central Time. You are from
I know,
Central
but
Time.
you forget. Like I forgot how hot it is here, even in the middle of the night.
It's so humid.
It's raining
out here.
Russell, now come on,
Annie.
You can't be talking smack about your Houston. I
love Houston. I love it.
Yeah, you love that city.
Look at the degree here in Maine. It's 30.
Oh, 30. So lucky. Wow. It's so humid here.
It's like 75 here and rainy, but it feels like 90 because it's so humid. It's like, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, and I'm wearing a flannel shirt because I dressed wrong. It's killing me.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Speaking of flannel, Russell, I've been watching Home Improvement, and Tim's person's always in flannel. And so he made the flannel joke, and then you have flannel on today. It's divine and it's hilarious. I absolutely love it. Annie, how was your weekend? What did you do this weekend?
Oh, well, hi. Can you hear me, first of all?
Yes. Yes.
All right, good. Yeah. This weekend is like the sort of entrance to the vacation. You know how we've extended our vacations now, even though they only give us one day off. It seems like it lasts for at least a week because we go all the way to Cyber Monday. Right?
Yes.
So this weekend was sort of like that, and then beginning to do like Christmas craft shows and sell my book at those shows and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. I love it. Do you guys have snow up there yet, or is
no,
it just
thank
cold?
Goodness. No, it's just today is cold. Yesterday was nice, but then it sleeted, and then there was a rainbow. So in Maine, our weather is always intense, no matter what it is. It's like I was taking a walk out on this jetty. It's a really long pier made of stone, like a mile out to a lighthouse, and then come back. And like, oh my God, I went through every emotion known to man. It was like fear, like anxiousness, like anger, and then all of a sudden there was a rainbow, and I was like in awe. So it was like that's the epitome of Maine. It's like the weather is a reflection of your emotions.
Yeah, so you don't get really bad weather till like January, right?
I mean, now it seems like with global warming, and I'm not an expert, but that it's warmer and warmer until January.
Yeah.
That usually gets snow until January, and by then I'm out of here.
Yes. Do you go on vacation come south or so?
Yeah, I have a house in Mexico, and so I go there, and then I travel from there, like my springboard place to go, wherever.
I think I read that in your bio. Was it Oaxaca, right?
Yeah.
Oh, land of the great food. That would be
amazing. Yeah.
There you go. You can take Russell with you. You can take Russell with you, and y'all can eat great food like the whole time.
There you go.
One of the most famous Texan chefs has a restaurant there.
Was it Hugo's?
Ortega?
Yes, Hugo Ortega.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, if I recall right, he's a James Beard Award winner.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And then he has one there. It's amazing. I went to it.
And I think there's another chef, Rick Steves, I think, or it's another guy. No, but it's another guy. But he has a whole series. It's called Taste of Mexico, and it's mostly in Oaxaca.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
It's a PBS. He's a PBS chef.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, Rick Steves is the travel guy. What am I thinking? Too much GPS.
It's really good though. That travel show is amazing, and all the food makes you want to eat right away.
Exactly. Yes. But
So,
Russell,
yeah.
you know who I was talking about, Russell? Yes, yeah. Oh my God.
I need to branch out. I don't know any of the things that you guys are talking about. You had me at Mexico, and then you got lost when you started listing like foods and restaurants and stuff. You really had me lost. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna smile and wave, like we're on the Madagascar movie.
It's just an amazing mecca for food.
Yes.
There's people from all over the world that come and have their restaurant there. It's a state and a city in Mexico, like Oaxaca.
Yes.
And it's just like a lot of people, even from Texas, come down and have their restaurants there.
Yes.
Mecca for
nice.
Food.
Exactly. Like more than like even like when a lot of people were going for a long time to San Miguel de Allende, but then like just Oaxaca got so popular, and just the research, I think, from chefs and just the on-hand experiences was cool. Well, that's so cool. You get to experience all that.
Yeah, really
nice. So Annie, what's one thing that you're grateful for this grateful Thanksgiving season?
So, my doggie is right next to me. My doggie is my best friend. And like, I almost live my life like to the preciousness of that like connection. She is just so patient, loyal, loving. And I aspire to be like her.
Nice.
She comes with me everywhere. She comes with me to Mexico. And she's like my number one grateful, because like I get like a dog's life is short. And so that urgency and that like appreciation is always present to me. So
and then I think I saw your dog is in your book.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Yeah. I'll show you.
Oh.
I don't know if you have pictures, but I do.
I love that.
Right here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I love it. It's like little personal touches.
Can I interrupt 1 second?
Yes.
No.
Amy, are we on? It says scheduled, but it doesn't say on.
Yes, we're on. We've been live for 17 minutes and 19 seconds.
As long as we are, I just wanted to make sure.
Oh my goodness, you guys, Russell has had a morning for sure. But to go back to what Russell said, you can find us anywhere that you can find a podcast: Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple, Good Pods, Google Play, all of those places. You can find us. Look for the crimson, red, and the gold, because I was selfish and those are my favorite colors. Russell can find us. Anybody can find us. We are incredibly grateful and humbled by being in the top 10 indie podcast books. It's been a lot of fun. There's still a lot of crazy and fun things that AuthorTalk is going to be doing, and interviewing, fun, inviting people in the writing community, and what all encompasses that. So we've been doing this for 8 years. Russell has. I've just started coming on doing the intros. I've been a part of it though with him for 8 years. So it has been a lot of fun.
In fact, we just posted today one of our first shows where Amy refuses to get in front of the camera. And the first year we did this show, believe it or not, now she's the star of the show. She was too shy to get in front of the camera. She stayed behind the camera. It was crazy. And finally we started making up excuses to require her to get in front of the camera some. And that's the way we tricked her into becoming the star.
So rude. You guys are so rude. If you meet me in person, I take a while to warm up to people. My personality is a lot, and I am a shy person in person.
Well, your personality is a lot. I agree with that.
Behind the camera, though, if you catch me like doing this or webinars, I'm full force. My personality, it's a lot of fun. But going back to what thankful for this holiday season, I said I was going to go last, and I will. For me, this year, the ending of this year has been really difficult for me. So we lost Greg Kelso, who was like a brother to me, which was really difficult for me. Within that same time period, my grandfather passed away within that same time period. And my black cat, which was near and dear to my heart, I also lost. So it has been a very difficult closing of this year. So I'm very excited to start next year. But I'm very grateful for friends and family not due to, but with everything emotionally that has been going on for me, it makes me really appreciate and value them much deeper. So Thanksgiving and stuff for me this year is a lot deeper in that sense because we've had such loss and handling that and some health concerns and those kinds of things. So it has been a year that I am very excited for Thanksgiving and just getting to spend with my family. My mom and dad, Josh's family, just family in general. So I am incredibly grateful and excited for that and just have my kids and see them grow and spend time with them as though they are little terrorists that hold me hostage. Okay. They truly do. And that's a true statement. But I am the most grateful for that. I'm also very grateful for the 12 days of page turners that is happening the first 12 days of December. So it's going to include 50 authors. I'm getting their goodies and everything ready to send out in appreciation for them wanting to kind of come and hang out with me. This year's theme is red and silver. So I will be in red with red lipstick every night. I have all my outfits planned out and picked, and I have different shades of red lipstick. Okay, because a woman can never have too much red lipstick. Okay?
Yes, I think that's like my most thing that overpowers my countertop. I'm like, oh, but you know what? I know what they all are, so it's good.
Can I request something?
Maybe.
Sure.
Will you have had the first show by next Monday's show?
No.
Okay, well, so the next show after that, you will have had some of the shows. So can you cut off a little piece and play it for us at the Author Talk in 2 weeks?
Sure.
I know that's a little extra because you have to do some editing, but I think that would be great.
Just for you, Russell, because I love you. I will do that. Yes, I wanted to give a disclaimer this year for the December 12th. Which is the day that we usually go live during the day and not at night. We always go live at 7 p.m. Central on my platform. So Amy, Abundantly Social, AuthorTalk, AuthorTalk YouTube, LinkedIn, and any other authors that are participating. If I have access to your pages, I will stream live on their pages as well. So keep that in mind. On December 12th, we always go live between noon and 1 p.m. Central. This year, I am not going to do the 12th live. I am going to stay up and I'm going to put everybody's holiday promotion together into a video, and I'm going to record an intro and an outro for that. That way you get all 50 holiday promotions again for the authors that aren't going to be able to make it on the 12th in the middle of the day. Most authors work a full-time job or are spending time with family and they can't be on. So I am going to do that and have it set up, and it will play multiple times on the 12th. So that way at any point in time during that day, you can take advantage of these holiday promotions before they do go away. So look out for that. You will see that several times on the 12th. So if you don't want to see that, you can unfriend me temporarily. That's fine too. Or mute me. That's fine. But the first 12 days of December is when I'm on social media the most, promoting authors and all kinds of things like that. So that's just a fun little disclaimer as to what is coming and to be excited about it, because I'm super excited about it. And this year we have some amazing and incredibly talented authors, a lot of new authors to the Abundantly Social and just Author Talk community.
And then Amy, some of the authors' promotions are pretty amazing. Can you just kind of allude to some?
No, I can't. Okay. No, I will say they're going to be heavily discounted.
Yes.
And you will be getting a lot of extra goodies with most of these authors. And a lot of them, for me, I'm excited to take advantage of their holiday promotions because they are fascinating authors and reads and interesting genre blending, which
we need to get to Annie.
I know, I'm kicking it to Valerie right now. Valerie, it's you.
Yes. So, Annie, I was reading your bio, and you're a Renaissance woman, girl. I am so happy to meet you. I am a fellow journalist, and you were an award-winning journalist. Congratulations. That is so amazing. And then also it says like and then did I get this right? You did the illustrations for your book?
Yes.
Wow. Wow, that is incredible. That is the first thing people ask me when they see my books too. And I'm like, no, I can't draw. I can barely draw a stick person, but kudos to you that you illustrated your whole book. That is, and it's beautiful. I was looking at the pictures. They're just stunning. Can you tell us a little bit about your concept? Because I love that it's the hummingbird and the narwhal just coming together.
Yeah. So it's about these two creatures that look alike. You know, the hummingbird and the narwhal, they look alike, and they come from completely different worlds.
Yes.
So it's about the preciousness of their meeting and then how they help each other out in life. And it's also a metaphor for, you know, humans. You know, we might be from different places, but we can still help each other out. And it is very precious to meet another person because basically you have that moment of the meeting, but then there's like a whole galaxy of history behind each of the people that you meet. So it's very precious, that moment. You never know where it will go. So it sort of like inspires people to be kind and, you know, to value friendship and to find purpose. And there's a little bit of magic in it too.
I love it. I love it. So what age range are we talking about for this book?
It's a really good question. You know, this is my first book. And everyone asked me that question, you know, especially when I was just writing it. In fact, I know Amy and Sandy were giving me help with that.
Yes.
And I, now that I'm a little more seasoned, you know, I would say this is a family book.
Oh, yes.
This is a book you don't want to read alone. This is a book that you want to be read to or read to. And I've heard these amazing stories of children reading it to themselves. Recently heard a story yesterday. I stopped to a bookstore, and they told me about this boy who's like always running around like with like this feverish energy, and then all of a sudden they were like, "Where is he?" And he was sitting in a corner reading this book, my book.
Oh my God!
Very quiet, which is like, it was like, wow, it was a great story for me to hear. Just like, you know, how did it manifest in a little boy, and he was 6. So, so I would say if I had a kid, if I had to put ages, I would say 6 to 12.
Yeah.
But, I mean, parents and adults are also loving it.
And that's what too. When I am around them, I'm like, this is a great story time book because we did story time with our kids. I'm sure Amy does story time with her kids, and that is so important. Building that bond with the books, and just like you were saying, this is a family book. That is an amazing concept because then they bridge that gap to just grow and love for the stories. I was looking at your art for a second when Amy was showing that. Was that pastel or what was your medium?
So I'm mostly an acrylic painter.
Oh, gotcha.
So the color images are paintings, and then the drawings are you know, pencil drawings basically. So and the story, the narwhal lives in the land of black and white. So he lives under the water in that land, and there's no color really in that world. And then the hummingbird lives above the horizon in the land of color. So so I use the medium to sort of express that.
That is a great concept. I love that because then does the narwhal get to see the color when he emerges?
Yeah, so he doesn't know what color is, and when he meets the hummingbird for the first time, he gets to learn about her world and all the things that she does and experiences, and then she gives him an opportunity to make a wish or like what he wants, and he wants to find the purpose of his horn because she knows the purpose of her horn, but he doesn't, so she helps him find that. And what he finds out is that he's a unicorn of the sea, and he shares color and joy with the world, but he doesn't even know what color is. So it's like, it's a story about his purpose, finding his purpose.
A little self-discovery and just introspective behavior on both of their parts, almost like the hummingbird is befriending him, like just bringing that joy almost. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, she's lost because she's on her migration north from South America to Maine, where the land of nectar is, and she gets blown off course. And this is real life stories. I mean, I actually seen in scientific manuals, like birds get blown off course, you know, and birds get blown into like typhoons, and because they have GPSs on these birds and they're following them. So, but in this story, she gets blown off course, and lands in the Arctic. She's completely lost. And then, lands on a branch that's bobbing up and down in the water.
That is so
cool. The narwhal, which she finds out later, is the narwhal,
Uh-huh. So, and I saw also, sorry, that your art has been displayed in galleries or museums.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it's sort of like I grew up, my first job was a journalist, and then I was a photographer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I transformed that into digital art. So, my art has been displayed in Financial District in Boston, in several galleries,
mm-hmm.
And then it's interesting how life transmutes, because,
yes.
I wanted to be an artist when I was younger, but my dad was like, "You're not going to school for art."
Yes. Yes.
I'm like, okay.
That's because your father loved you and wanted you to support yourself.
Yes.
Well, here we are. Like, my life has sort of come full circle,
mm-hmm.
and I get it. My dad was, thinking the best for me in his thinking, but it's interesting how life sort of comes around. Because I actually studied science in school, the opposite of art.
Yeah, because it said like you had like environmental features or so that you covered, that kind of reporting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I was a writer for like after college, but my degree is environmental science.
There you go. Okay, gotcha.
The BS degree. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I just had a basic journalism degree. I was just, let's give me something to write about. Yes. How did the concept for this story evolve?
Oh, that's a good question. I was just walking along the woods on an island in Maine with a friend, and I just like sort of chuckled about an idea I had. It was very sort of offhanded. I was like, "Oh, that's funny. Like, what about like a hummingbird and a narwhal movie?" I just had an idea.
Yes.
And then it wasn't until a couple of years later, around like the time of COVID or the pandemic, where I actually set to work to actually create the story, which took me 2 years to do the writing and the illustration.
Mm-hmm.
And then a fond friend of ours, actually Amy and Sandy, named Bellany Dishon, was my coach throughout the whole process, and like her coaching was invaluable. To write a book, to do something that's like heart-centered, coming so vulnerably from your heart, is not easy, because all those like fears and insecurities come up from your childhood. Like they're really real, like right here. You're like, oh my God. And like, am I good enough? And can I really do this? And all that. And she was an amazing coach to guide me through all that. And actually, I did it. I manifested it. It's just a huge accomplishment in my life, and such a like, I'm really, really proud of it.
Yes, you should be. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful concept. The art is beautiful. Did you always want to be an author? Because I feel like for me, it was like in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I want to do this, and it kept trying to, so it just kept, like you said, it manifested. And then when it becomes a reality, it's an amazing thing. Did you always have maybe thinking?
Not really. What I had is like real intention and what's the word? An aching almost. Like, it was like, I remember crying about it because I felt like I hadn't fulfilled it, which is to make a difference with kids.
Right.
And it almost makes me cry now. Like, just, I just wanted that so badly, and I didn't know how to do it. And so like, I thought long and hard, like, what's the best way to do it? And for me, being in a classroom wasn't it, because I don't have that intense like energy to be with them every day. But what I have is like a way to guide them, to children, I would say, to like find their own purpose, to value friendship, and also all like respect for all creatures on the planet. Yes. And so it was a whole unfolding of like, okay, what's the most effective way for me to make a difference? And that's how it happened. And then it was like you said, Russell, like my whole life kind of came into like, I was a writer, I was an artist. my dad didn't told me not to go to art school, and then I came back, like, and this is the most effective way to make a difference.
Yes, exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And the connection, how did you make the connection between the hummingbird and the narwhal? Because they're so opposite ends of the spectrum. How did those two, because I don't know. Sometimes like it just like it's a light bulb moment almost, right?
Exactly. Like I was saying, I was just walking along with a friend, and it popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with probably other people who are artists, you get these ideas, and maybe they're channels. Maybe my mentor, who's no longer with us, was sending me a message from the other world. I don't know, but I got a strong message. And whether you're going to act on that message is another story, because we get them all the time. I think with this book, the message is so strong. I had to do it, and I just chose to do it, and then I did it. And it was not easy. It was like 2 years of constant, like, okay, I'm doing it. Okay, I'm doing it. Okay, I'm doing it. And still to this day, it's like I'm doing it because, I go to bookstores to propose it. And every single time I have to open my heart, like, okay, here's my book, here's the message, and would you please collaborate with me to spread this message
Exactly
to everyone so that we can make a difference together. So really, it's a community effort.
Yes, I can totally relate. Totally relate. Because you're like, this is my heart and soul. Please share.
Yeah.
We want, like you were saying, you want to impact the kids with a positive message,
Right.
and just show them a different perspective, about life, about animals, or whatever it is. We're just trying to like give them a good connection and a positive experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you have any questions, Russell?
I'm dying to ask questions.
I bet.
But I wanted Annie to get to tell her story because it's a beautiful story.
Yes.
The narwhal and the hummingbird, what they have in common is they're both living pieces of art.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing about the narwhal, I love that you put in it, is because it's such an unknown whale. It's unknown. And I've written some children's stories. The tertiary reason I wrote the stories, because they're about large fauna of Africa, is I want the next generation to love and protect the large fauna, the elephants, rhinoceros, etc. of Africa. And that was the tertiary story. And what I like about your story is you enlighten the new generation of these two beautiful living examples of art, and hopefully that your readers will care about these animals. Exactly. I know that's a weird subterfuge part, but that's a part of all writing, is a multi-level effect. So I really, really love that. Mm-hmm. What piece of advice? We have a lot of people that listen to our podcast that are wannabe writers, wish to write, think they have a book in them. And would you expand a little bit about what got you to write that first book?
Yeah. So, we have one precious life. And when it gets really clear to you that, you want to write a book, or you have a great idea, that's basically a gift that's been given to you, because not everyone gets those messages. So if you're a sensitive person, you get these messages, and it's almost like you've been given a gift. So when you get the gift, you're like, all right, am I going to take that and run, or am I going to like hide under the covers, and, eat chocolate? And so there's two choices all the time. And in fact, we can do both at the same time. There's plenty of times when I hid under the covers, like I just absolutely can't do this, but so my message would be just to keep going, and also to get a coach, to find someone who you feel you could be vulnerable with, to hold your most precious ideas with, and to guide you along the way when you're feeling down. It's just that's what kindness is all about, is to support each other on our path, because we're here, we're all human, we're alive, and we get to experience this one great life, so why not have a great time?
Exactly.
Support each other. Yeah.
At the book festival I just went to this weekend, the lady next to me had just published her first book, and she said people had kind of been like, "Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to do it?" And then her kids who were grown, they're like, "Just do it, Mom. Just do it." And her book turned out beautiful. And it's like sometimes all you need is that little push. And like you said, it's in the back of your mind. And if you don't get that message, you already have the message. So go ahead and do it. Just, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a little bit of trial and error. It's going to be a little bit of a journey, but when you do it, it's worth it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And the other thing is that someone else might do it if you don't. Yes. You know, that's like the other urgency. You have a great story, you have an idea, and if you're not implementing it, it's almost like you said no to that gift. And you can say no, because you can't do it all, but you choose what you want. And when you choose it, I say, keep going, keep going.
So do you feel inspired to do a second book?
Oh yeah, I definitely am. I'm a kind of, I don't know if you call it ADD person. I get overwhelmed with so much.
Me too.
And I'm very sensitive, and so I'm in this phase of weeding through the weeds, help me, to get the book out. And, I learned so much along the way, about Ingram Spark, about Amazon, about all these different venues. I knew nothing, and I really got the pathway now. I'm more confident on what I'm doing. And so the other one is there, and it keeps talking to me in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay,
it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away.
I have characters talk to me in my dreams.
Yes.
So I know exactly what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. And I really like your idea about the fauna of Africa. I mean, I'm passionate about that too. The rhinos, oh my God, they're so cute.
Yes.
And, it could be in our lifetime that they become extinct. And that is a burden that we all were going to have to handle. And so how can we work together to make sure that doesn't happen?
Exactly.
Because we're not the only creatures on this planet.
No. Mm-hmm. I agree.
There's my little political
thing. Wait, rhinos are going extinct? I had no idea.
Yeah. There's poachers out there. There's people killing them all the time because they want to get their cups.
Of course, that's another show.
I knew those.
That's another show. We can talk all day about that.
I knew of that. I just didn't know that they were on the verge of extinction. I did know that sharks are on the verge of extinction, and they've been around for millions of years, right? And they're all it took was humans to make sharks extinct. It's really sad. Very sad. Yes. And now we have to have you back on so we can have these conversations because I love these conversations.
Yes. You need to invite Annie back.
Yes.
She's welcome back anytime.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Annie, anytime. I'm so excited that your book is doing fabulous and has won all of these awards. I know it was a labor of love. And so a lot of love and passion went into it. And including time because you did your own illustrations, which are beautiful. Mm-hmm. So, but I had no doubt you were in excellent hands with Bellany. So I had no doubt at all that it would be the success that it has been. So let's do closing comments, statements, questions. Valerie first.
I don't know. I was just so excited to meet you, Annie. It was a fabulous story to share, about your whole journey. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. How about where can we get your books?
Yes.
So yeah, you can, they're online. You can get them online. And you can also get them directly from me. You can also get them from your local bookstore if you use bookshop.org. There if you do that route, you can patron your local bookstore, which are these indie bookstores, which is so important because they create a community around books that are so important. Yes. And instead of doing Amazon, which is getting the middleman to and Amazon's great too. Thank you for getting the book and the message out, and we can also support each other individually.
Russell, it's your turn.
I find Annie very inspiring. I'm about to start after Christmas my first sculpture welding class to work on kinetic sculpture. And so, Annie, I find you very inspirational.
Thank you. Good job. All right. Well, you'll have to let me know how it's going. And and give me a call.
I'll show you my scars on the show.
Okay. No, I think that's awesome. I want to learn that.
Take photos, Russell. Take photos.
Yes.
Well, Annie, I want to thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with us and talking to us about your book and everything that went into it, and your labor and love of a project is how I'm going to label it. And for reaching out to be on. I had no idea. So I'm incredibly grateful that you reached out to us to be on, and you are welcome back anytime. Annie.
Yeah. I really
anytime.
Like, the energy here is so good. Like you never know what you're going to say in an interview, and I could tell like the energy here. You're all very like you create a space of vulnerability and inspiration, and getting every author's message out. So thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, that is the nicest thing anyone has ever said about all of us.
Yeah, you need to write that down, Amy, and put that at the top of our show.
That was so
like a little
nice.
banner, right?
I feel it. I feel it. It's not every day that we, like almost cry in an interview.
Oh no, I love it. Thank you so much. Well, everyone, we hope you all have a fantastic Monday, a great rest of your week, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And we will catch you all next Monday.